Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Like I said in the last video, it is time for revamped, re-edited, just awesome content coming straight to you. Today we're going to be doing a first impression of the mostly new, I think this came out like a month ago maybe, the Your Golden palette from ColourPop. So if you guys have been with my channel for a while, I know for a fact that I've talked about this. I really am going to make it my mission to collect all of the mega palettes that ColourPop comes out with because, again, if you've been with my channel for a while, you know I love big palettes. I know the whole thing on YouTube right now is like, small palettes. I'm the exact opposite. Sometimes I wish that I was a small palette person. Perhaps my palette storage would be a little easier and a little less messy, but I love big palettes. They can be overwhelming at times, and there's a size limit. Like, I think it's the King, 100 color shadow. No, that's overwhelming. That's way too much. But 40 shadows, 50 shadows max. This 30 shadow palette is perfect. So if you haven't seen the Your Golden palette, I'm gonna open it up for you. This is what it looks like. Super duper pretty. I really like it. I am a warm tone girl, especially in the summertime. I'm all for those warm tones. And so the entire theme of this collection, or of this palette, is warm tones. So you have the warm tone neutrals pretty much throughout the entire palette, if you see. And of course you have a mix of satin metallic shades, matte shades. I think this is a pressed glitter up here. Which I know not everyone's a fan of. I personally kind of like them. But yeah, this entire thing is very warm tone, and then you have some fun pops of color with the coral, you have the blue here, the blue glitter, the dark blue down here. I just think it's so pretty. And let me tell you, I've had this palette sitting here on my desk for a week now. There's a whole story. Okay, fun fact. I absolutely cannot stand DHL e-commerce shipping. Absolutely cannot stand it. ColourPop, please find a better distributor of your... I can't. I hate it. DHL just tends to take a lot longer than I feel like any other shipping ever. And ColourPop is the only place that I buy from that uses it. So I got a notification that it was delivered. And I was like, oh my god, yay. I knew the day was supposed to come in the mail. I was so excited. It was on my, informed delivery, which if you guys don't know what that is, you can sign up for, USPS informed delivery, and they'll tell you, what mail is coming to your house every day. So it was on my informed delivery for it's going to be here that day. And I got the notification that it was delivered, and I was like, oh my gosh, yes, woke up from a nap, best wake up ever. And I go out my door, because it's definitely not going to fit in my mailbox. I live in a townhome, so we have that little, small P.O. box, mailbox thing. Definitely was not going to fit in there. So I look at my door, and there's nothing. Every, DHL site, the USPS site, all of them said delivered. And I was like, where's my palette? Long story short, even though that pretty much was most of my story, I was really mad about it the entire rest of the day, and I was like, I just want my palette. Did it get lost? I was about to file a complaint with USPS just because or DHL or whoever, but eventually it came the next morning. It literally, I went out to go to work I think the next day, and it was outside my house, and I was like, this is weird, but whatever. I got it, and it's been sitting here waiting for me to do this first impression. It's been very good. I've avoided using it. I haven't even swatched this guy yet. I've been a good noodle. So today's video is going to be a first impression of the Your Golden palette from ColourPop. Real quick, I'm going to insert a bunch of swatches. Those are the swatches, and I don't have a look in mind. I'm really just gonna go in and I'm just gonna grab shadows and we're gonna see what happens. So I'm gonna zoom y'all in and let's get into it. Alright, so y'all are filmed and zoomed in now. I don't know why I said filmed, sorry. Can you tell when I crashed last night after work? Y'all, I can't even explain. Alright, anyway, so you guys are zoomed in. So like I said, this is what the palette looks like a little bit closer up so y'all can see it. I'm living for this palette. So I'm going to go in first with my Nars eyeshadow primer. This is the eyeshadow primer that I always use. I never use anything else anymore. Yeah, it is the only one that keeps my shadows on all day. Even then, it still doesn't always work, but for the most part, it's even been holding my shadows on in a hot, greasy, steamy kitchen for the past 2 weeks, so clearly it's doing something right. If you see me looking off to the right, that's where my mirror is. I also do have my little baby mirror from my Tarte lip palette, but for the most part, I'm probably going to be looking into this mirror on my right. It's too big to put in frame, I'm sorry. if I moved it, it would be, yeah. So, we'll go right here, so you'll be able to see the corner of it. I'm sorry. So can I get that? Yeah, alright. Okay. I'm going to be using ColourPop brushes for this as well. I feel like it just makes sense. So these are the brushes from the Bare Necessities collection. Mostly clean. I did just clean them the other day, but I have also used them since then. Okay, I'm rambling. I just need to get into it. So I think I'm going to start... I'm just going to do the world's most basic look today, because I feel like that actually can say a lot about a palette. And since this is a first impression, I really like... Yeah, I want to play with the basics, and then what I'll probably end up doing is using this a bunch more and probably giving my final impressions either in another video or maybe like over on my Instagram. Maybe I'll do a story about like, hey, if you haven't checked out this video, go check it out. That's my first impressions. My final impressions are blah, blah, blah. So we're going to test a lot of the warm toned browns today. So I'm going to go in with the ColourPop E16. It's kind of like this fat, fat in this way, crease brush, but it's a little skinny. I know that makes no sense whatsoever, but I'm going to go in with the color, I think I'm going to go in with Covet over here on the end. It's like a light, it's a really nice like warm transition shade. Pat that off. Pull out both my mirrors, and I'm just going to go in and I'm just going to put that right in my crease to start out with. By the way, let me know if you guys like this zoom or if you would prefer even something like more zoomed in. I just figure this is a nice starting point and I can kind of go from there in terms of like, how did this look when I'm editing the video and should I be zoomed in? Like, so let me know if you guys prefer this distance away or if you would want to see something closer up so that you can really see all the shadows. It is applying very, very nicely. I mean, it's a very nice, like, warm transition shade. There's not a whole lot that I can say about it else right now, other than the fact that it's really going on smoothly. It is pretty easy to build up. I'm getting a little bit more darkness here on the outer corner, which is what I expected, and what I'm kind of going for, because I'm going to gradually just build up depth and darkness on this look. If y'all know me, as much as I love colorful shadows, I'm a neutral girl at heart, so a palette like this always speaks to me. I'll just go in on the other eye. So right away, one of the things that I'm noticing is that there is, I'm trying to do this without knocking it all off, but there is a lot of kickback in the pan here. That tends to happen with ColourPop's like super matte shadows. I think I haven't quite figured this out yet. I think it's because they're so hard pressed. So when you, I think that's what it is. Maybe they're too soft pressed. I don't know. I had it figured out at one point and then I lost it. But anyway, there is a lot of kickback in the pan, so if you're someone who really doesn't like kickback, that's just something to note. I personally don't mind it. I've said that in videos before, but just wanted to give you guys that heads up. So next I think I'm going to go in with the shade Private Beach. It's over on the other end of the palette. It's right here. It's got the same, obviously it's a warm tone brown, but it's a little bit darker, kind of like medium to darkish dark. And I'm going to go in with that same brush. And I'm going to focus that a little more on the outer corner, but it will be eventually blended in. And I'm going to try and go in like an arrow shape on my outer corner a little bit. So it's going to go onto my outer lid just a smidge, but mostly be focused in the crease. And I'm only going to blend it in about halfway into my eye, whereas the other color I took all the way in. This one I'm only going to blend in about half the way. That's really pretty. And they layered really nicely too. They're blending super well together. I'm not seeing any patchiness as of this point, so that's really good. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a much fluffier brush. So I'm going to take the ColourPop E15, and I'm just going to kind of take that and buff those two colors out slightly. I always do this after I've layered some shades, and I really want to get a nice blend on it, especially in the like upper crease area. And this brush is pretty clean at this point, so I really don't, there's no product on it from this look specifically. If there's any product on it, it's from another look. But oopsies. But no, all of these colors are blending out really nicely so far, so that's really, really good. Now I'm going to go in with a more precise brush. Cannot speak today. So I'm going to take the ColourPop E21. This is like a round, not quite, it's kind of a detail brush, but I don't know. It's barrel shaped and thin, pretty dense. And I'm going to take a little bit of Warmer Days, which is this one right here, and Cover Up, which is this one over here. The Warmer Days, which is the one in the middle here, that one's a little bit warmer, but they're both kind of like that chocolate brown vibe. I take those on the brush like that and concentrate that on the outer corner of my eye and blend that barely into the crease. Absolutely barely. It's not going past like the outer third of my crease. And that's just going to add a little bit more dimension to the look. And again, I'm really trying to keep that arrowhead shape as much as I can. It's the shape that I want for this look. I just think this type of look with slowly, gradually building the depth of shades to create, I don't know, I'm in love with this type of look. I do it almost every day. It doesn't matter the color or anything like that. I do this type of look almost every day. I'm super duper basic. I'm sorry. Okay, so now I'm going to take that fluffy brush and just blend everything out again. Okay, I think those all layered really, really nicely. I'm not seeing any patchiness, which is really nice. They were all able to blend into each other, both at the transitions in the crease. And again, that outer corner specifically has all three layers right there, so I think they all layered really nicely. So I'm not going to cut my crease or anything today. I know that I could do that, but I really want to keep that depth on the outer corner. So I'm just going to go straight in. Me trying to decide if I want to do kind of what I always do, which is do a lighter lid shade, and it's going to be a shimmer, of course, or if I want to actually go a little darker. And I'm actually kind of leaning towards a little bronzy or darker. So I think I'm going to go with this color down here called the Pelicities. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm assuming that's probably a place. And it's like this rose gold satin, warm brownish. Super duper pretty. And I'm just going to take that on my middle finger, as I do I'm not trying to flip y'all off. I'm sorry, that's just how I apply these shades. And I'm just gonna put that all spoiler alert, my ringtone is the Avengers. Anyway, just putting that all over the lid, and ooh, that's super pretty. It's a lot more golden than I thought that it was gonna be, but I'm really vibing with it, to be honest. That's really nice. And I am gonna blend that over the dark outer corner that we created, but I'm gonna go in with a darker, like, satin there soon anyway. That is really pretty. Oh my gosh, you guys missed it the other day. So if you haven't seen my new Instagram post that I put the other day, it's gonna be the other day by the time y'all see this video. I did a collaboration with a bunch of super talented artists using the Blend Bunny Blends palette. My picture has two different looks in it because I wanted to show like the warmer brown tones, but I also wanted to show the like darker, smokier grays and gray tones in there. And I, of course, had those looks on for work and everything like that. And I went into work the one day, and with the more like brown tone one, the way that it looked more in person, I feel like you can't really tell in the photo that I used, but I just wanted to focus specifically on the look. But my friend told me that I look like the catfishing filter that's going around on TikTok right now, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, that was one of the biggest compliments anyone has ever paid me. I just thought that was so sweet. I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I am living for this like golden bronze color. So stunning. Alright, so now I'm gonna go in with, actually, this is a lip brush. This is the L1, but I'm gonna use Daydreamer, which is over here. It's like that smoky, like gunmetal color. Love it. And I'm gonna go in on that outer corner where we put the depth and dimension in the crease. I'm gonna rebuild that with the darker shimmery color. And of course, blend that into the bronze of the way. And that is just perfection. I love that. I'm thinking I need to zoom you guys in more in the future so you guys can like really see this look, because like I feel like y'all can't see it. Granted, I'm not editing yet, so I don't know how to look in the editing process, but I feel like just looking in my monitor, I'm like, I feel like y'all are missing the goods. Again, that layers really nicely. There's no patchiness or anything. It's a little more subtle, so you kind of have to add several layers of it, at least the way that I used it. You kind of have to add a few more layers of it to really get the depth of the color, but it's really pretty. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and finish the look off camera with some liner, lashes, and finish the lip look as well. I already did my face makeup, as you guys can tell. Oh, that was the thing I wanted to look at. I don't think I have... Let me turn my light on. Sorry, I know that's whack bright, but it's the only way that I can see all the fallout. There is a little bit of fallout, I think, from that outer corner shade, because it's more focused on like this outer part of my eye here. But for the most part, it's pretty fallout free. Let me see, does it just, do I have a fluffy brush nearby? Yeah, we'll try and just buff it away. Okay, because it was the glitter shade, it's not just buffing away super easily. So there is a little bit of fallout, but nothing too horrendous, so that's really good. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead, like I said, and finish this look off camera, and then we will come back to talk about my final thoughts of this first impression. Alright everybody, so this is the finished look that I came up with. I realized right after I turned off the camera that I forgot to do the lower lash line. Basically, I just took those two darkest colors that I used and I just kind of blended them onto my lower lash line. I put some false lashes on. They are the chocolate bar lashes from the Glamlite Chocolate Factory collection. And I put on a dark deep lip because if you know me, dark deep lips are my vibe. And I thought, I don't know, I feel like it pairs pretty well with this neutral look. So that is what I did to finish things off. Overall, first impressions, not surprising in the slightest. I'm really liking it so far. If you've been following the beauty community for a while and you've been following me for a while, you know that ColourPop typically has a really, really good formula. It's very consistent for the most part. There are a few palettes that are a little inconsistent, but for the most part, the formula is really, really good, especially considering the price, and I always love ColourPop. I don't think I have a ColourPop palette or collection that I don't like. There are some, obviously, I use more than others, but I like just about every single ColourPop product that I own, so they are a very consistent brand and pretty inexpensive. Their prices are going up a little bit, I'm noticing, but they're still really inexpensive and affordable, and I think that's really awesome. So yeah, overall first impressions, so far really good. Awesome to hear. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate the support. If you want, I can do a tutorial on this look if you want me to, like kind of a little bit more in depth, or if you want to see more content revolving around this palette, definitely let me know below. I think I said it in the last video, but if you want to see a room tour of the new room, definitely let me know. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all very soon. Bye everybody.